Hi, I'm Caren Schwartz, and I'm going to be talking about what to do before calling technical support, or how to make the call a little less painful. This is a little bit of information about me. I specialize in software for billing, accounting, and practice management, work mostly with professional services firms. So when something's not working with your computer or your software, it's really frustrating, and the first temptation I know for me is often to just throw the thing out the window, but that's not really a cost-effective solution most of the time. But it's really trying to figure out how to fix the thing. A hammer is not a good solution. Yelling at it doesn't work. I've tried. So the first step is to stay calm. Take a few deep breaths. Then write down the complete error message, because a lot of times those can give a lot of information to people that understand them. If there's a details button, press the details button and write that down as well. If you have a way to take a screenshot of your program, of your software, that's a great tool. There's programs like Snagit from TechSmith, or most Windows computers and Macs have a screen capture program you can use. Also, write down any details you can. What else were you doing? What other programs were running? Because sometimes it's a conflict and sometimes it's a known issue. Can you duplicate the problem? Sometimes something goes wrong, and if you shut everything down and restart it, or shut the program down and restart it, the error may not come back. So you want to make sure you can duplicate it before you spend time calling tech support. You should also clean all your temp files out. In Windows, it's start, programs, accessories, system tools, disk cleanup. You can also do start %temp %, and then just delete everything out of the temp folder. And you'll usually get a couple of things that won't delete because some application is running, but that's okay. Just as much as you can clean up, you want to do. Reboot the computer. I know it can be a pain in the butt, but that's the first thing tech support's going to probably ask you to do. So you might as well do it, and then you can tell them, I already tried that, it didn't work. Also, if you can try the same application on another computer, or if you can log into the application as a different user, try that, because sometimes there is a user corruption that will get cleared up by logging in as someone else. Then think about what changed. Have you installed any new applications? Did you run a Windows update last night? I've seen Windows updates cause problems with things, although Microsoft will never admit to that. So if you can uninstall the last program you installed or the last update. I had a situation a few years ago where I do work with a lot of different programs, and I do a lot of testing. And the minute I installed one program, it broke another program. And it took me a lot of time to figure out, because the only way to fix it was to uninstall and reboot the computer, and then reinstall the original application all over again. And it wasn't two applications that most people use, so nobody else was reporting this error. But I was able to go into a lot of depth, find the problem, and then report it in and figure out how to work around it. There's also, on Windows computers, there's safe mode, which basically is a very limited set of drivers and applications run. It's basically the bare necessity to run the computer. If your program is networked, sometimes safe mode won't work. But if you can try in safe mode, that's a good thing to try. And if you're not sure how to get into safe mode, a lot of times before you exit, go out to Google and search there. Most computers, it's as the computer is rebooting, you just keep hitting the F8 key and it will give you the option. I happen to have one machine that you have to hit the F5 key. Before you call support, you want to have information that you can give them that will help. So you want to know what operating system you're running. Determine that. This is how to figure that out. Identify what version of the software you're running, because a lot of times that makes a difference. Usually there is a version number, like you'll see something like 12.0.1.3 or R6P. And It's in different places in different programs. Most programs you can go to Help and About, and it will tell you. In QuickBooks, you have to hit F2 to find out. If you have a license number for the program, know that. If you're registered and you have any kind of registration codes, that's handy to know. Also, usually you can find a phone number or an email address to get to support from documentation you might have from the program, or in the help files of the program if you can't find it, if you don't have documentation in paper. Or you can go out to the internet and search and often find support information that way. And know if you have a support plan, because some programs will provide free support if you have a support plan and charge you if you don't. And so knowing what you have will help you to be less upset when they tell you, oh yeah, we can help you, but we're going to charge you $80. And then you can make the decision of, is it worth it or not? Do your own searching. Search for solutions. The vendor websites usually have good information. And Google, I find, is a wonderful tool. Bing is probably just as good. I just tend to go to Google. If you put in the error message, and if you put it in quotes, it will limit what it searches for to just that chain of words instead of each word individually. And that will help you to find information. So you could put, time slips and then error code 2. And you put the error code 2 in quotes and the time slips, and it will try to find all those errors. And I have found often that will point me to the knowledge. It will take me to an article in the company's knowledge base. But a lot of times it's a more effective search tool than what's built into a lot of the company websites. Make the call. Pick a time when you have time to spend on a call, because even if you're not on hold, it may take a period of time for them to try to troubleshoot, and you don't want to have to hang up in the middle of the call because you have to go somewhere and then start all over again. Provide the details, tell them what steps you've taken, write down the names and the date of anybody that you speak to. Usually they will give you an incident number. Write that down, because if you have to call back, that information can save you from going through and repeating everything. If you get somebody that has a bad attitude, or you're just having a really hard time communicating with them, and you've spent, a little bit of time with them, ask to speak to a supervisor. Now, a lot of times when you ask to speak to a supervisor, they're going to transfer you to a different tech support person. You're not going to really get a person who's a supervisor. But you may get somebody that you can understand more clearly, or that can be more help. Sometimes you will get a real supervisor, and you can keep, if you are really getting nowhere, you can keep pushing until you get escalated up the chain. Be nice. You win more, attract more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. Sometimes it's hard. I'll sit there and go, okay, Caren, smile, you can do this. But also be strong. Don't let them just tell you, oh yeah, do this and you'll be fixed. Make them stay on with you while you test it, unless there's a really good reason not to. If it's not resolving the problem, push them to fix it. If they tell you, oh, we've got to send it up to development, or we've got to send it to second level or third level, get an incident number, get tracking information, find out when you can expect contact back, find out how you can get information if you don't hear back in a timely manner. When you take those steps, hopefully you will have a good result. You'll hopefully be a lot less frustrated in getting there. And most of my tips come from an article that I wrote on my blog that has a lot more in-depth information and reiterates the same points, and that is the Path to the Blog article. Any questions? Great. Thank you for coming.